Hey guys, today I'm going to be giving you guys some tips and tricks on how to apply to college, specifically focusing on how to write a personal statement, what kind of students colleges actually look for, and how to find a college that's right for you. Just to give myself some credibility, last year when I applied to colleges, I applied to 7 and I got into 5 of them, and I even got into some colleges like UCLA, UC Santa Barbara, and UW-Madison. I hope you guys find this video helpful, and if you do, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Alright, so the first thing we're going to talk about is the personal statement. This essay is probably the most important essay that you're going to write in this whole college admissions process. It's going to allow colleges to hear your own unique voice and to allow you to write your own unique story. When writing your personal statement, I wouldn't recommend writing a pity story. For example, writing about a medical emergency or the time that you lost a family member or something sad. If you do end up deciding to write a sad personal statement, then I would suggest that it has to be very, very dramatic and show how you overcame struggles and how it really changed you as a person. Last year, I wrote about how my mom had a heart attack and how that changed my life. At the time, I thought that writing about that topic was very dramatic and it would really show how I overcame struggles, which it kind of did, but it wasn't as dramatic as it could have been. You really have to show how you as a person changed and became better. On the flip side, what I think colleges actually want to read instead of a pity story is a simple story that has a bigger connection, or a story that combines two completely different and unexpected things. So for example, a simple story could be going fishing with your grandpa. Then with that story you talk about how you learned about maturity and the value of family. While this might not seem super interesting at the moment, this actually allows colleges to see how you can turn even a simple moment into a really big change for yourself. A lot of people make the mistake of choosing a basic kind of story like the time I won a soccer game and then the value of teamwork. That is a good connection, but so many people do things like that. If you're going to write a story that is about something you accomplished, it has to be combined with something very unexpected. For instance, I read an essay once where a girl wrote about winning a gymnastics tournament and compared it to her love of math. Now that doesn't seem like they go together, right? But she actually explained how when she did her flips, she could predict how she was going to land based on her mathematical calculations. Overall, when writing your personal statement, think about writing a simple story and making big connections. Alright, this next piece of information might shock some of you guys, just like it did me. I'm sure we've all been told that colleges want well-rounded students, meaning that they want their applicants to get good grades, be in lots of extracurriculars, and have a good personality. But this is wrong. Colleges actually do not want well-rounded students. Colleges want specialized students. What I mean by a specialized student is someone who is really excelling in one specific department, whether that be an academic subject like winning a national spelling bee or a national math competition, or excelling in a sport or a musical instrument. Now, if you're a specialized student, colleges do not care as much about your grades. Colleges would rather have a state or national level winning athlete, musician, or academic achiever because they want a well-rounded class. If every student in a college is a well-rounded student, they're not going to have a diverse class, and that's exactly what colleges want. Think about it this way. If there are 10 students applying to Harvard, and 5 of them are well-rounded students, meaning they get good grades, great recommendations, and great extracurriculars, they're all going to blend in with each other and not stand out. However, if out of the other 5 applicants, one of them is an Olympic runner with only a 2.6 GPA, the other one is a mathlete who won the national competition but doesn't have any extracurriculars, and then the last one is a well-rounded student with an exceptional essay, who do you think is going to get in? The last 3. Well-rounded students are just far too common, and unless you have an exceptional essay, you're not going to get in. Now you might be asking yourself, how do I know if my essay is exceptional enough to get me to stand out from all other well-rounded students? I'd suggest that you step into the shoes of an admissions officer and really criticize your essay and analyze it and go through it and determine if I were comparing my essay to every other well-rounded student's essay, would mine stand out? Or even compare your essay to a specialized student. Would a college pick you, a well-rounded student with an exceptional essay, over a specialized student? If you are a freshman or sophomore in high school, or even a middle schooler, my advice to you is to find one thing that you really love to do and you're really good at. Then continue working on this skill or talent and keep working throughout high school. Focus on this one thing, whether it be a sport, a musical instrument, specialized academics, or starting a business. That one skill will make you stand out to all other applicants. Choosing a college can be very hard. I know when I was looking at colleges, there were just so many that interested me, and I had no idea how to choose. If you don't know your major, this can be especially hard, but if you do know your major, make sure to look for colleges that specialize in your major, meaning that they rank really high in your major. That way you know that you're going to get a great education. Some things you could consider when picking a college is distance from home, the weather, their academics that they're known for, their sports, and a lot more. But if you really don't have any idea what college you want to pick, I suggest making a spreadsheet. Make a spreadsheet with everything that's important to you, whether that be their average class size, their tuition, their sports ranking, their special majors, and anything else that's important to you. When I made my spreadsheet, I used Google Docs, and I wrote down all of the colleges I was thinking about or that I knew I was going to apply to, and I wrote down tuition, class sizes, and things like that. Another very important thing to consider is scholarships. Some schools will have scholarships for certain students, whether you're in a certain major, a certain school at that college. Maybe they'll give you a scholarship if you're a specialized student that's really good in sports or music. Scholarships ended up being what helped me decide what college I ultimately wanted to attend. Now, one of the biggest mistakes that I made during the college admissions process was applying to schools that deep down I knew I would never be able to go to. My dream school was UCLA, and my second choice was University of California, Santa Barbara. But unfortunately, I was not able to attend UCLA because of the high prices. By looking on websites and Google, I found out that the tuition for both UCLA and UC Santa Barbara was around $66,000 a year. But because I was a well-rounded student and I thought that I would get a scholarship because of my good grades and my extracurriculars, that I would be able to afford it. However, that was not the case. Out-of-state public schools are actually very expensive, and it's very hard to get a scholarship, especially in California, because there are so many students applying there. Unless you are a very specialized student, like I explained before, you have a slim chance of getting any kind of scholarships. I would recommend applying to either in-state public schools or out-of-state private schools instead of wasting your Common App money on out-of-state public schools. I know some parts of the country have policies between states where you can save money by going to a nearby state. For example, I live in Wisconsin, and I could have either gone to Minnesota or Michigan for college, and it would have been the same price if I had stayed in Wisconsin. There are other policies like this around the country, but I know a lot of states are not like this, so be very cognizant of this and only apply to schools that you know you will be able to afford, or if you are a specialized student, be 100% sure that you will be able to get a scholarship there. Otherwise, you'll end up in a situation like me, where you got accepted to your dream schools, but unfortunately you had to turn it down because you couldn't afford it. I even kept my UCLA letter that I got in the mail because it's just a memory that I really want to have. To recap, what I said in this video is to not write a pity story for your personal statement. Don't be a well-rounded student unless you have an exceptional essay. Make a spreadsheet to help you pick what college you want to go to. And finally, make sure 100% you know you can afford the college you're going to apply to. Alright, that's the end of this video. I hope you guys found my advice helpful. I know that I would have loved to have watched this video last year when I was applying to colleges. Also, make sure to follow my Instagram, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!